Eliza Bennett was known throughout Oak Ridge Middle School for one thing: perfection. Her science projects won every competition, her book reports contained extensive bibliographies, and her bedroom was organized by color, size, and category. Even her pencils were arranged by length, with not a single one shorter than 3 inches. "Why use an imperfect tool?" she would say, meticulously sharpening a new pencil whenever one became too short. When a Miss Barcia announced the annual invention convention, Eliza immediately envisioned her blue ribbon. This year's theme was Solutions for Everyday Problems, and competitors had just 3 weeks to create their inventions. "Remember," Miss Garcia emphasized, adjusting her colorful scarf, "the purpose isn't perfection, but practicality. The best inventions solve real problems effectively, not necessarily flawlessly." Eliza barely heard these words. She was already drafting elaborate plans in her notebook, her mind racing through complex mechanical designs. That evening, Eliza spread dozens of reference books across her bedroom floor. She researched historical inventions, studied contemporary engineering principles, and created spreadsheets comparing different materials. After hours of deliberation, she settled on creating an automated pet care system that would feed, water, and entertain pets when owners were away. "It needs to be perfect," she muttered, sketching increasingly complicated diagrams. "It should monitor food consumption, adjust portions based on activity levels, provide entertainment, and send status updates to the owner's phone." For the next week, Eliza declined invitations to the movies with her best friend Zoe and skipped soccer practice to work on her invention. She ordered specialized parts online, which consumed her entire allowance and then some, requiring an advance from her parents. By the middle of the second week, Eliza's desk was buried under half-assembled components. She had encountered numerous setbacks. The feeding mechanism jammed, the water dispenser leaked, and the entertainment module confused her neighbor's cat instead of engaging it. "I still have time," she assured herself, though dark circles had formed under her eyes from late nights of tinkering. "I just need to optimize every component." Meanwhile, her classmate Lucas was taking a different approach. Lucas was known for being laid-back but resourceful. For his invention, he had decided to create a simple homework organizer. "What's your project?" Eliza asked during lunch, noticing he seemed relaxed while she felt increasingly frantic. "I'm making a homework tracking system," Lucas explained, showing her a prototype made from an old shoebox, colored folders, and a small whiteboard. "Nothing fancy, but it works. It helps kids keep track of assignments and prioritize them." Eliza scoffed internally. So simplistic. No electronic components, no digital integration. She returned to her blueprints, convinced her sophisticated creation would outshine Lucas's elementary contraption. That evening, disaster struck. While testing the automated treat dispenser, a malfunction sent kibble flying across her room. As Eliza frantically tried to fix it, she accidentally spilled water on the circuit board, causing a small electrical short that ruined hours of work. Sitting amid the wreckage of her project, Eliza finally broke down in tears. Her father found her there, surrounded by scattered components and soggy blueprints. "What happened, Eliza?" he asked gently, sitting beside her on the floor. Through sobs, she explained her predicament. "I only have 5 days left, and it's nowhere near perfect. I'll never finish in time." Her father nodded thoughtfully. "You know, when I was designing software at my company, we had a saying, 'Perfect is the enemy of good.' Sometimes pursuing flawlessness prevents us from creating something that's simply useful." "But I wanted to make something amazing," Eliza protested. "Consider this," her father suggested. "What's the core problem you're trying to solve?" Eliza thought for a moment. "Making sure pets are cared for when people are busy or away." "And does solving that problem require all these complicated features?" She looked at the scattered components, the half-built automatic feeder, the motion-sensing water dispenser, the interactive laser entertainment system, the health monitoring sensors, and the smartphone integration module. "I suppose not," she admitted reluctantly. "What if," her father proposed, "instead of building one perfect solution, you created something good enough to solve the essential problem?" The phrase good enough initially made Eliza cringe. Good enough wasn't in her vocabulary. But as she considered her predicament, she realized she had no choice. It was either create something simpler or have nothing to present. The next morning, Eliza approached her project with a new perspective. She identified the most crucial elements, food and water, and focused solely on those. She simplified her design, using a timer mechanism from an old kitchen clock to control feeding intervals, and a gravity-based water dispenser that couldn't leak or malfunction. As she worked, Eliza discovered something unexpected. Simplifying was liberating. Without the pressure of perfection, she found creative solutions she hadn't considered before. When one approach didn't work, she quickly pivoted to another rather than agonizing over the perfect method. By the day of the invention convention, Eliza had created a functional, reliable pet care system. It wasn't the technological marvel she had initially envisioned. It had no smartphone integration, health monitoring, or entertainment features, but it served its core purpose effectively. As students set up their inventions in the gymnasium, Eliza noticed the diversity of creations around her. Some were elaborate, others remarkably simple. Lucas's homework organizer stood nearby, colorful and inviting. Miss Garcia circulated among the displays, clipboard in hand. When she reached Eliza's invention, she studied it with interest. "Tell me about your process," she requested. Eliza explained her journey, her initial complex vision, the setbacks, and her eventual decision to focus on the essential functions. "I learned that sometimes good enough is actually better than perfect," she concluded. "My first design tried to do everything, but this one does what matters most and does it reliably." Miss Garcia smiled. "That's called satisficing, finding satisfaction in a solution that suffices. It's a valuable skill, not just for inventions, but for life." As judges evaluated the projects, Eliza felt surprisingly calm. Her invention wasn't perfect, but it was practical and functional. For the first time, she found herself genuinely interested in other students' creations rather than merely assessing the competition. When the winners were announced, Eliza received second place, but Lucas won first with his simple but effective homework organizer. "Congratulations," Eliza told him sincerely. "Your invention is really practical." "Thanks," Lucas replied. "Yours is too. Want to get ice cream with the group to celebrate?" In the past, Eliza would have declined, needing to reorganize her project materials with meticulous precision. Instead, she found herself saying, "That sounds good enough to me." On the way to the ice cream shop, Eliza realized something important. By embracing good enough, she hadn't just completed her project, but she'd gained something more valuable: time for friendship, reduced stress, and a new way of approaching challenges. That evening, Eliza looked at her row of perfectly sharpened pencils. After a moment's consideration, she removed the shortest one, still a half-inch longer than she typically allowed, and used it to write in her journal. "Today I learned that perfect isn't always best. Sometimes good enough is perfect enough."